gotta come back with me. Where?
Hello there. Once again, it is time to take another revealing peek back into history.
What famous date shall I set it to today?
Once again, it's time for Throwback Thursday, a second chance to look at some truly awful podcasts. No, wait, a second chance to see how far Vicis Interimo has come over the last 8 years. New episodes will be released pretty much weekly, but Thursdays I've reserved for throwbacks to see how far we've come. A lot of the information on here no longer applies, whether that be businesses or links that may not work anymore, so be advised of that. But again, I want to thank the patrons that we have at this time, though they may not have been here the first time these episodes were recorded. I am thanking them again because they're helping us move forward with our new episodes. And those are patrons such as at Lonely Bob, Big Al V, and Goldafish. In the meantime, I hope that you enjoy what you hear.
Oh my gosh. That wasn't a happy time for me to come in.
No. Now I need a lozenge. Welcome to 30 Minutes to Kill. Hi, Lori.
Hi, how's it going?
Hi, it's going pretty good. And hello to all our listeners. Welcome back for episode, I believe this is episode 16. And this week's review is, I don't know, is it a rant or a review? What do you think?
I think it's still a review.
Yeah?
Yeah, we might rant a little bit, but...
Well, I probably ranted a lot. We did cover A Crack in the Floor, and... it
was pretty bad.
It was pretty bad, but I guess we'll get to that a little bit later on. Right now, for our Laid to Rest segment... A couple of things. Well, first of all, I talked to Gonzo from Horophilia, and we mentioned this on the last podcast, but I'm going to need to clear something up. Gonzo's a funny guy.
Not funny, ha-ha, funny queer.
Because, well, one of the things, it took us a little while to sort out exactly which tune he was looking for. And it actually was not from Dex Drums and Rock and Roll, the Propeller Heads. Man, I am just screwing this up, too, because now I'm going to have to cut it.
Oh, no, what happened?
Well, you started talking to me, and I forgot to look up the song.
Oh, my gosh.
All right, so, man, this is going to be quite an episode.
It's going to be hard for you to edit it.
It won't be that bad. So the song I was looking up for Gonzo was New Life by Eiffel 65. Not Propeller Heads or DJ with a Fire. Anyhow.
Now, notice that also is my CD.
Yeah, whatever. Yes, it is your CD. Okay, fine.
Gonzo, you have great taste in music. Okay.
Anyhow, moving right along, my point about that was, if you do contact us about a previous episode or anything else, please make reference to the episode that you were referring to, because I have no idea. I just assumed it was the last one that was up. So that was incorrect. The other thing that I wanted to talk about, let's see, we got our first 5-star review on iTunes, which is cool. Thanks for that, Gray. Which also in turn brings up the fact that support your local podcasters. Not necessarily us. We have friends in the area that listen to the podcast and, talk to us. But for other podcasts out there, I want to urge you to reach out and support. We are bringing you free content, and we're doing it because we enjoy it and it's a hobby, but it is nice to get some encouraging words from now and then. So even if you're just writing to your podcast and letting them know, hey, I enjoy your show, you don't have to say anything more than that. That just makes all the difference in the world, though, and encourages us to keep going. I know there are other podcasts out there that are far more popular than we are that maybe don't get the mail and the output or the outpouring of support they deserve. So if you're listening to us, don't worry about us, but definitely reach out to your other podcasters. Why are you laughing?
Hey, we need support, too.
Well, we do, but I'm not begging for it here, so.
No.
Yeah.
But no, it is good just let people know, because sometimes you sit and you think, am I just talking to myself? Is anyone out there? Does anyone even care? It's like, why am I doing this?
Well, that's why I added you, so I knew at least somebody was listening.
We've got each other.
We do. Actually, that's not fair. We do have other people, too, and I'm not going to give shout-outs to everybody by name again. You know, maybe that took too long last time, but if I give a shout-out to your state, you know I'm probably talking to you. We're so small at this point. But if you're out there in Massachusetts, I know we got a couple people in Massachusetts, New Jersey, we even have Ontario, Canada, listening to us, Kentucky, Florida, a few people in Texas. I'm just assuming that's a Horophilia, guys.
Ooh, Kentucky.
Yay.
Hi, Clyde.
You're assuming that's Clyde. That might not be.
I know. Hey, there might be all kinds of people in Kentucky.
There might be, but I don't see them downloading the show. Arizona, Utah, Kansas, Nevada, and, of course, there's folks here in California. And actually, just before we got on here and started recording, I noticed that we have Skipton in the UK, and Newport as another place where some people are downloading us. So, hey, if you guys are out there listening, and I use guys for, whoever, guys, girls, whatever. It's great. It's great that you're downloading and appreciate it. You know what? Let's move on. What else do we have to talk about?
I don't know. You tell me. What have you been up to this week? What have you been watching?
No, that's for garbage in, garbage out. That's later. We're not going to do that segment yet.
Ah, dang.
Okay. This segment, though, I am going to mention that we did try to lower the prices on all the shirts in the Cafe Press bag end store, so they should be all about $20 or lower. I'm going to work on the design also so that the Vicis Interimo can be put on a black shirt. So I think that pretty much covers everything for the Lay to Rest segment. Let's get into our rant about a crack in the floor. If you're looking for a photographer in the LA area, contact James at photographsofdreams.com. Whether you're looking for portraits, commercial work, line events, automotive, movie stills, or wedding photography, I think you'll find that James has all the experience and skill that you will need. If you want to see his work, go to photographsofdreams.com. I've included a link here in the show notes. This week's episode, a crack in the floor.
Yep. Crack in the floor. It's a shame.
Yeah. Anything to say about that one?
Oh my gosh. I got lots to say about it. I'd like to just say it was a piece of crap, but that's maybe not being totally fair. I don't know.
Okay.
Wow, what's your initial reaction?
Well, this is a movie that infuriates me and frustrates me like no other. And the reason for that is this is really what ticks me off. I'm really upset about this.
I was going to say, I can't wait to hear what you're going to say.
Well, it's going to sound stupid, but whatever. It's it's like a student film. It's somebody had an idea. They got, and I'm gesturing on my hands, and there's just nobody here to see it, but anyhow.
I see you.
Okay. They got money to make a film. They got actors that, I mean, they may not be A-list headline actors, but...
Mario Lopez, hey.
Okay. But, you know what I mean? They got all this, and then they make a subpar movie. I mean, I know there are people out there that are struggling, that wish they had an opportunity like this, and, like, this is the best that they could come up with.
Well, now, see, I'm wondering, because we watched it with a couple other people.
Yeah.
My niece Tara and her boyfriend Jordan. And Jordan turned to us and said, is this supposed to be, like, funny? Like, is this supposed to be like this? I couldn't answer the question. You couldn't tell if it was a parody of a horror movie, of a bad B movie. Like, were they trying to make it bad?
I don't think they were.
But because there were moments where it seemed like they were taking it very serious, almost too serious.
Yeah.
Like where it was almost comical, because then other scenes, it had that kind of dorky, bumbling, you know, the sheriff and all those scenes that took place in the sheriff's department and stuff. It was like, what is going on here? The characters were just so goofy and over the top, and
yeah,
I don't know what was going on in this movie.
Well, the guy that played the sheriff, and that's what this is what's annoying to me, because
I'm sorry all these people got stuck in this movie.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
I feel bad for Mario Lopez. And I feel bad for, of course, we have to mention Gary Busey was in it.
I was going to say that till later.
Yeah,
and
we'll
stuff.
save that.
Yes,
we'll absolutely save that.
But we're talking about the actors. You brought up the sheriff already. Now, the sheriff, he has been in a ton of different things. I mean, I'm going through his IMDb, and it looks like I see 123 entries. I don't know what's TV and what isn't and stuff.
He's a familiar face.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He was on things like Hawaii Five-0. He was on, now let me see, I think I saw, admittedly it was like the second Dusk Till Dawn, but he was in Dusk Till Dawn. He was in, well, I went back too far now. Well, he was in A Crack in the Floor in 2000. But before that, he was in Dusk Till Dawn 2, Texas Blood Money. He was in Phantoms, also known as Dean Koontz's Phantoms. I know a lot of people don't like that movie and think that it sucks for whatever reasons and stuff. But he was in U-Turn. He was in, and you'll appreciate this, Uncle Sam.
Oh, my gosh. Yes.
That's another movie that
I remember seeing him in that.
You do? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's another one that he was in. He was in Cowboy Up. He's been in...
So what are you saying?
Well, I'm just saying that there's good actors. That's Bob Hopkins that was in this. Give me just a second here. Well, the redhead, Daisy McCracken. She's hasn't been in a ton of things, but she was in Halloween Resurrection. Yeah. Which, okay, we'll get into how you feel about that some other time.
Yeah, let's not go there.
But at any rate, they had some quality people to work with. Yeah, she was in 3,000 Miles to Graceland. She was in, why are you laughing?
I don't know. I'm ready to close your webpage.
Oh, okay. But my point is, because, I mean, I want to look at these, and I want to look at the actors that were there and the other things that were in. I'm looking for the guy that was in, well, for goodness sakes, it was David Naughton who was the EMT driver, and he appears in a flashback scene in the movie, and he was in American Werewolf in London.
Yeah.
Yeah, and wasn't he the Dr. Pepper guy, too? The singing
Pepper guy?
Yeah, the singing Dr. Pepper... Okay, now I'm maybe digging in here too deep and stuff, but he was in the TV commercial. So
what I think happened here was the movie did not give these actors much to work with. Yeah. I think that was where the problem lies.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if that's what do you agree
that's absolutely...
Because, I mean, a bad movie can make anyone look bad.
Yes, definitely. The other, one of the other people that was in here, Frank Collison? We're going to edit this part out. Collison. 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 Okay.
Oh, it looks like to me.
Frank Collison is another person that was in
so
here.
much time talking on
Okay, I was
listing 800 movies that people were in, but we're not talking about the movie that we watched.
Okay, but we'll get to that in a second. Frank Collison is another actor that was in there, and people that are listening to this podcast might recognize him from Carnival. He was also the same year in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? He was in the last Boy Scout. He was in Lawnmower Man. He's, you know what I mean? He's been in a ton of things, and he only had, a 10 minute scene right at the very beginning of the.
It's even that, actually.
Yeah. So.
It was not much of a scene.
No, it wasn't. Do you want to do a synopsis of the movie? What can you tell me about it?
Well, basically, I'm thinking of the location, too. We're going to have to talk about that.
Yeah, definitely.
Where this all was supposed to be taking place. Because it starts out, it looks like old-time pioneer days, whatever. A woman is outside this little cabin with her son, and they're burying her husband, her little boy's father. And it starts there, and she's telling her son, we need to keep outsiders away. No one will ever know where we live. We'll always be protected here. Of course, too, hillbillies come out of nowhere. And are we doing spoilers? I don't recommend you go see this movie.
Yeah, we might as well do spoilers.
Let's
because
just talk about this thing. And so shut this off if you don't want to know.
Yeah.
But
give your rating first. Do you have a rating?
Oh, my gosh.
Well, I'm just saying, because we're going to rate it at like a 2, or at least I'm going to give it maybe a 2, if that. Maybe a 3. I'll give it a 3.
I was thinking maybe a 3.
Okay.
After we are done talking about it, I might decide to downgrade it, once
Okay.
I really remember.
Okay. So we've got that out of the way. Anybody that's listened to us, if you can kind of decide how your taste compares to ours and what we've said on movies in the past, to know whether or not you want to go ahead and watch this piece of crap.
Yeah, because it's a piece of crap.
Okay, so now the spoilers are coming.
Yeah, basically these couple of hillbilly guys come walking out of the woods and, rape and kill the mother while the little boy watches on, and it's the craziest scene. I don't know why I'm laughing.
Probably because he didn't pull his pants down.
It was just, I was like, what is going on here? It was not done very well. I mean, not that you want this big graphic, rape and murder scene, but it was laughable.
Yeah.
But anyway, little boy, what is he, maybe 5 or 6 years old, he witnesses this horrible thing, and then the hillbillies come into the cabin and they do something to him. They kind of glaze over that, and then it flashes forward 33 years, and here this boy spent his whole life growing up out in seclusion, out in this hidden cabin out in the woods somewhere. But then we find out it's Southern California. These, I was going to say kids, they're just out of college, I guess, is supposed to be their age. They live in Los Angeles, which we're in Los Angeles County ourselves. So
right.
These kids take off from here and drive down towards San Diego. This is supposed to be, where did it say? Outside of Fallbrook? Which I have relatives that live in Fallbrook, so I've been there.
They're not like this, are they?
No, they're not hillbillies, which nothing against hillbillies, but it was so just out of whack. I mean, the way that this woman was portrayed and the home, the cabin, living out in solitude, you just can't do that in Southern California, especially around Fallbrook area.
Yeah, well,
it was so unbelievable for me, just because I grew up here, and I grew up spending a lot of time in and around Fallbrook and Escondido, Temecula area, all of those areas, and there's just not really many places to hide. So, the back of the box or whatever said that, this guy lived out there for 33 years in solitude, and no, he'd have been kicked off there a long time ago.
Well,
so it was just unbelievable from that. But, if you weren't from around here and you weren't familiar with the areas and stuff, you wouldn't pick up on that, and that would not be a problem for the movie. For me, that was a huge problem.
Right. Well, here's the other thing. The kid wasn't feral, okay? He lost his parents at a very early age, and then yet he's still shown to be living underneath the house, peering through a crack in the floor. But he's still living he's got a bed down there, and it looks like his place is very neat and in order. And it's ridiculous, because there's also a scene in the movie where they didn't really get back to it, where they're pulling. Well, how far did we get on this? We started talking about that. Did we talk about the fact that anybody that comes into the cabin is basically killed by him? In an effort for him not to associate with people.
Yeah, because, of course, the last words his mother told him was, you always have to, we need to stay hidden. And like, what's all that all about anyway?
Yeah.
I mean, that opening scene went by so fast. I like more stories, so that was just kind of a lame little explanation to hurry up and get the movie started.
Yeah.
But, I don't know.
And that's really the frustration for me. They got all the money, they got the actors. They should have rewritten the script just one or two more times to tighten up and flush these things out. I think they could have made something good there, but the next scene that they got to, where the sheriff is pulling, they're looking for two missing hikers, and they're pulling their Jeep out of this lake. And the guy comes up in a huff or in a rush, and he's like, "There's 22 cars down there."
25, I think.
I think it was 22, but who knows? But anyway,
you know what? There wasn't room in that little mud puddle for more than a car and a half. So
there wasn't.
I don't know how 20 some odd cars were down there.
No. So the first thing the sheriff says is, "Oh, it's an insurance scam or whatever." But I'm pretty sure that was supposed to be the vehicle that the people. So why this kid? He would go out there and then, he's a young man now. He'd go out there.
It's 33 years later, and he's probably 5 or 6 when it starts. So
he's 40. He looked younger than that, but I guess it's all that clean living he was there.
You never really see his face, though, do you?
That's true. You don't. You only see that eye through a crack in the floor.
Did his eye look about 40? I don't know, maybe.
But he took the time to clean up, the vehicles, get rid of those, but then the the hikers initially had started making out in the house and stripped off their clothes. He left those in their jacket right where they were.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He didn't come in and clean it, because later the sheriff comes back and finds it.
Well, now, and that's kind of funky too, because they just came in on foot.
Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't you think, if I'm secluded in a cabin and I'm protecting myself and my home, hikers come in, they're in my house, I'm going to kill them and get rid of their stuff. I'm not going to go out and look for their car.
Yeah.
I mean, it was kind of backwards. Maybe you would go look for their car if you thought it was close by, but, I mean, it was just kind of random. I mean, they just stumbled upon it, and their backpacks were right there for the sheriff to come and find.
Yeah.
And if this cabin is so hidden, the sheriff he keeps coming back and forth to the cabin and leaving, and it's not that freaking hidden. It's right there for everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, God, it's so bad.
Bad.
Oh, I didn't like it. Oh, my God, here's the worst part.
Tell me about the worst part.
Well, you know what it is, because we knew better. We watched this movie about 5 years ago or something.
Yeah.
And we watched it, and first of all, I built up Gary Busey scene in my head where I was like, that was the only redeeming quality of this whole piece of crap.
Well, I still enjoyed it.
It was still quite amusing, but even that wasn't as good as I remembered it. And it was like, dang it, I remember the movie being horrible, and I probably would never want to put myself through that again, but I couldn't remember why, so I was very willing to step into it a second time.
Right.
Dang it.
Well, we stepped in it all right.
Oh, yeah. Scraping it off our shoes for a while here.
Yeah. And the scene that we're talking about has Gary Busey. It doesn't even start with him. It actually starts out with a one-armed man coming. One arm was out, and the other arm was tucked into his overalls.
Yeah.
And then, of course, he had a sleeve. It was so bad. I mean, you could see the arm. You could see it wiggling around behind the...
his arm was down along his side, and, I mean, he didn't even try.
But, I mean, okay, it's low budget. It's low budget. I get that and stuff. But, I mean, they had... again, they have actresses like Tracy Scoggins in it. They have other people. And, I mean, I'll let you guys look that name up, whatever. But they had all the materials and just made crap with it.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. There's been a lot of movies out there that had really tiny budgets, and they did a really good job.
Way better.
And this one is just like, what the hell? What is
Yeah.
going on here? And I hate to use the term, student film, because there's a lot of really good student films out there. And this was maybe, I don't know a lot about whoever made this film, and I don't want to insult anybody, but, yeah, it just came off like they didn't know what they were doing. Like, oh, wouldn't it be cool we'll just film it out here, and we'll just say this is going on, and, oh, yeah, this will be good. Like, let's just throw things in there as we go, or it just seemed very poorly planned. Rated R, right?
I think so.
Actually.
Oh, yeah, because you see the one girl in the shower and stuff. Not the redhead, though.
No.
No.
But it wasn't even like rated R nudity. And
no.
I don't remember, I think Mario was screaming the F word at some point, but
yes.
there wasn't a lot of, there was some blood, a little bit of ketchup.
Yeah. And
that was actually pretty funny. I was like, was that supposed to be funny? I feel like Jordan now. Was that supposed to be funny? It took place in the sheriff's office. We're just so, if you can think back to a couple of the, if you think back, those two bumbling sheriffs off the Halloween movies, and they even had that corny music whenever they came on the scene and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that was the feeling it had. Like, okay, this is supposed to be funny, but yeah, then the scene's actually out in the woods and these hikers going in and this group of friends going in, like that part came off as very serious, but I don't know.
Yeah, it was bad. Bad.
It had an identity crisis, maybe.
Yeah, it did. It definitely did.
A slow part in the middle. I remember thinking, oh my gosh, it's so slow. Like something needs to happen.
Yeah.
They all kind of started telling stories and sharing and it's like, you know what? There wasn't enough character development for me to want to sit there and listen to these people tell stories.
Right.
It just kind of felt to me like it just came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I was just waiting for the guy to, do you remember what his name was supposed to be? It doesn't say it in the movie, but it had it on the box, Jeremiah or whoever.
Jeremiah.
The guy that lives
under
the floorboards.
Right.
Yeah, you're just like, oh my God, where is he? He needs to get out here and start doing his job because these people are killing me.
It was awful. I guess we've talked about this one. I think the consensus is don't watch this movie. You know what? Maybe we should have looked and seen if maybe just Gary Busey's scene is on YouTube or something.
I meant to do that today because, that's maybe worth seeing. It's very amusing.
Yeah.
I think it's the only unscripted part of the movie.
I think so.
You can't really control Gary, can you?
No, sure can't. So, okay. Well, was there anything else you want to talk about the movie? Anything else for sure you want to mention?
I don't think so, unless you were starting to talk a little more about Gary Busey's scene.
Oh, I was just going to say...
we got hung up on the one-armed guy.
We did. Okay, so the scene, he comes out, and it turns out that this gas station they pull up to is serving fried chicken meat. For free, yeah. And they spell about as good as I do. And they talk about the same. Anyhow, they spell about the way I do, but anyhow, they come out with chicken wrapped in newspaper in a cut-off Mountain Dew 2-liter bottle.
Is that what that was?
Yes, it was.
I didn't have on my glasses. I didn't want to see it that closely. No, just kidding.
Yeah.
I thought it was like a coffee can or something. Whatever. It was not sanitary-looking food.
Not at all, but they sure all dug into it and started eating it. But,
fried chicken meat with every fill-up.
Yeah, but it turns out that the locals are messing with them instead of messing with the tourists instead of being the other way around and stuff. And that's kind of supposed to be the gag in the movie, but it's just bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. I guess we'll cut that here and edit it down. All right. Thanks. Where's the off button?
No. How about that one? No, not that one either. I know. I'll try pushing this one. Put my hat, would you? There's a good fella.
I don't know how many of you are interested in martial arts, but since I have the potential of reaching a national audience, if not well beyond that, for anybody that's here in the States, if you find yourself in the Hoover area of Alabama, you want to stop in and see Joe at the American Fight Club. You can find him online at AmericanFightClubAlabama.com, all one word. Welcome back for the Garbage In, Garbage Out segment. Hi, Lori.
Hello.
See how I jumped right in there and didn't leave you hanging this time?
Yeah, okay. There wasn't that big pause. Okay.
Exactly. So, what do you have to talk about for Garbage In, Garbage Out?
Oh, well, we wrapped up Big Love, so we won't have to talk about that anymore.
No.
We finished our Netflix.
3.
We Netflixed 3 seasons in a row, 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
It ended with a bang, and I can't wait to watch season 4 now, which we'll be waiting for a while.
Yeah, unfortunately, since it's airing right now, that's going to be a bummer.
But it was a great series. It is a great series.
Yeah, for sure.
Enjoyed it.
The reason we haven't watched much is because we've been at the library. So while I was at the library, I got a chance to read the graphic novel Wanted, or at least the first 6 issues of that. It's bound as a graphic novel. I can't wait to see the movie because I know it can't possibly be anything like the book. The book was... I'm not really sure how I feel about the book. I did finish the whole thing, but it's kind of this over-the-top superhero, well, supervillain is really all that's left. They've killed off all the super. So I hope I'm not giving away anything that's in the movie, and I don't think I am. But at least in the book, it seems that this is a parallel world where they've killed off all the superheroes, and there's nothing but supervillains that remain. So the main person of the story is a amoral villain. You can't even call him an anti-hero, really. I don't know. It's kind of crazy, so I'm interested to see how they transferred that into a movie, or how they... I know they said they were part of a fraternity of assassins and so on, but I think they maybe just swept the rest of the superhero rhetoric under the table and just...
I remember the preview for it, and I don't remember anybody going to see it, so I haven't heard anything about it. Yeah. I never really read much about it, so... Yeah, I guess we better check that one out.
Yeah, it's on our Netflix queue. We should get it at some point. So.
It's not like number 400 or something.
It's probably 400. I think I added a couple more since then, so we're probably up to 425 again. I hope not.
Quite a few.
We do.
Does everybody out there do that? I don't know. Does everyone have like hundreds of things on their Netflix queue?
They maybe do. Some people are watching the things on the computer and stuff. I just don't want to spend that much time here to watch the movies here generally. Yeah. One other thing I wanted to talk about, well, it's lost now. What was it?
Lost?
No, not
You said it was Lost. We did watch Lost this week.
We did, but that wasn't what I was thinking of. So let's give it a second. Wow, I have no idea. It's gone that quick. And I even made notes this time. Anyhow, thanks for listening. As always, please visit our page.
Oh.
I think this was midnight or something, not 8 o'clock.
Mercy, I'm serious. It's a Friday night. And
yeah.
Are we delirious? Well, we walked to the mall.
Yeah.
Did that wipe you out?
I think so. It took all my brain power to get me that far, I guess. Anyhow, thanks for listening, folks. Tune in next week where the movie will be, well, it's undetermined. Maybe it'll either be Six String Samurai, or I guess that's not really horror. You just think it's going to be horrible, so let's see how that is.
It doesn't quite fall in the horror category.
Not quite.
No.
Maybe I'll get around to watching the one from the Watchmen, the Tales from the Black Freighter. I've still got that to watch, so maybe we'll check that out. Or we should have some more horror ones coming here pretty quick. So, in the meantime, thanks for coming back. Anything to say, Lori?
No. See you later.
There you go. Finally. Okay. Thanks.